Good morning and welcome to BOTB HQ in Parsons Green, southwest London. My name is Christian Williams, a presenter here at BOTB. And we're here this morning to judge the Dream Car competition, which ran from the 8th to the 14th of March 2021. And just before I hand over to the lawyer this morning, once again, massive congratulations to the winner of the Dream Car competition last week, Matthew Dearden, who won a brand new Volvo XC90 and also £70,000. I'd now like to hand over to Alex Brooks from Onside Law, who will oversee the proceedings this morning.
My name's Alex Brooks from Onside Law, and I'll be overseeing the judging this morning. Firstly, I can confirm that the competition data has already been sent to the auditing company as is. I would now like today's judges to introduce themselves and, using the secure link provided, mark on the screen where they think the centre of the ball should be. The group will then come to a final panel decision.
Good morning, my name is Matt Cannon. I'm a senior county referee and footballer, and to confirm we're now playing on April the 3rd.
I'm Nigel Hicks. I've been a Supply League match official for the best part of 30 years, and I'm an experienced football administrator.
Good morning, my name's Hugh Gilroy. I'm a referee, mentor, tutor and observer.
Good morning, my name is Leo Donnellan. I'm an ex-professional football player, having been with Chelsea, Fulham and Leyton Orient.
Hi, my name is Aaron Mendonca. I've been involved in football for over 30 years, firstly as a player and then as a referee.
My name's Liam Walsh. I'm a retired referee, currently an FA observer and head coach for the Middlesex Referees Academy.
Good morning, my name is Alain Goma. I'm an ex-professional footballer, having played for Paris Saint-Germain, Newcastle and Fulham.
Hi, I'm Matthew Ray. I've affiliated in multiple counties across England, currently in Gloucestershire, and have refereed from grassroots through to professional academies.
Good morning, my name's Peter Giorgio and I am a futsal and football referee.
My name is Chloe Morgan and I'm a goalkeeper for Crystal Palace Women.
Judges, please now come to a final panel decision. For your reference, the larger white cross is the calculated average of 10 individual selections.
Thanks, Alex. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Matt.
So we've got two players in shot. Looks like they're challenging for a header. The guy on in the black and in the background, he's looking intently straight up. So obviously got a bit of a grimace on his face, forehead's furrowed, and he's looking up. And you've got two good eyes, so he's looking up. I think we all agree he's looking up slightly to his right as he's looking at the ball. And we've got the player in maroon who sort of, it just seems to be in front of him, mouth open, looking like he might be coming in to head the ball. But we're all in a fairly tight cluster of where the middle of the ball will be. So I'm going to go straight into you, Chloe. You're in the middle here, the pink cross closest to this calculated average. How have you seen the photo?
Yeah, very similar. Both players seem to be vying for a header. I think it's quite good that we've got obviously quite clear shots of both players' eyes. I took, almost a kind of centre point from the forehead of the black player, looking almost directly up, but slightly over to the left a little, and then use the eyes of the player from the claret as almost sort of a 45-degree angle across the screen.
Yeah, thank you. Because I wanted to ask you, Cleo, because look, I'm going to draw lines sort of slightly differently this morning, going through the centre of this calculated average from their foreheads first, because it's quite a tight cluster in there. Just slightly missed it, but that's the sort of the forehead view, if you so to speak. And then if I take the spread from this player's left eye, Matthew's slightly lower. And then we've got a good view of these two eyes up from this player, again in a pretty narrow band. Leo, you're slightly out to the, or ever so slightly out to the right as we're looking at the photograph. How have you seen this?
Yeah, obviously two players trying to get the head to the ball, Matt. I think the player in purple is slightly the favourite because he's in front and he's a little bit higher than the other player. And I think the player in black, is fighting to challenge for the ball. I've put it where I did because, he's going to head the ball with his forehead. But so I just went a little bit more straight above his head rather than maybe slightly to the left.
Yeah,
other people did.
Yeah, it's ever so slightly. I mean, Matthew, you're the lowest here, and you're in sort of in line with both myself and Ari. How did you see this photo?
Yeah,
highlight yours.
No differently. I think it's a challenge. Both are going up for the header. I just think the player in claret's eyes are looking slightly lower, particularly the left-hand eye, his left-hand eye. I don't see too much white underneath, so I've just taken the view a little bit lower.
Yeah, let me draw in a line from his left eye up through yours there. Okay, thank you. You're just above me on the same line, Ari. How have you seen this photo? Do you see it any differently, or?
No, basically everything was said. I agree with it. Everything was said already. I feel both players going for it. The player in maroon at slightly advantage. It's at the end of the day is all about the timing of the jump. They are, but slightly advantage for the player in maroon. I felt the ball should be thereabout.
Yeah, thank you. And I mean, Nigel, you're up here. You're just ever so slightly higher than everybody else. Have you seen this?
I think, same way as my colleagues have said, pretty much. I feel the ball's probably slightly nearer us because of the angle of the player in red is looking at. So I think just in a flat plane, I think the ball's slightly nearer. I took the eye line primarily of the player's right eye. So yeah, that one. But I can totally see, from what Matt was saying, how if you take the player's left eye, that's looking slightly lower. I think that's an indication of 3 dimensions of the photograph. But,
that's right. So the ball's out just slightly in front of the player in maroon because he's obviously tilted that way. Yeah. Fair point. Peter, yours is there just below Nigel's.
Yeah, just agree with it. The player in purple is the going to be favourite for the ball. Like Leo said, he's higher than the player in the background, and I think we're all thereabouts, and a good cluster and a good average, I think.
Yeah, thank you. I'll go to this other little tight spot. There's Hugh. You're just here. Highlighted yours, ever so slightly closest to the player in maroon. How have you seen this?
Yeah, not different to what's been said, really. Just I took more from the maroon player's right eye or our left, which for me, you could see a little bit of white under and was looking up slightly. Yeah. And then I felt it was over to the left slightly, because if you look at the player in black's eyes, particularly his right, it's quite far over in the eye. That one in particular, was quite far over for me. So obviously it's close to them. He's looking at the middle of the ball, but I felt it needed to come across that little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. And then Alain, you're very close to Hughes. Have you seen it any differently, or?
No, similar to Hugh. I think everything has been said. Both players are in the air, challenging for the ball. And as Hugh mentioned, I think the right eye of the black player is looking, slightly, to the right, compared to the other eye, I would say. So hence, I was, compared to most of you, slightly a bit more on the left.
Yeah, well, I contend with that. I think because there's 4 of you in that quite a narrow line up, and then there's another, well, really 5 of us up from in another band with Leo slightly out to the right. So I think your view is supported by others. It's just a very minor movement. And lastly, Liam, you're quite close to this calculated average. You're just here highlighted yours. How have you seen this, and any other thoughts of yours?
I'll be honest with you, Matt. Everything that I've got, note-wise, has been mentioned by my fellow judges. I can't really give any more light. The only thing I will say is that 10 of us have had a judge this morning, and I think if you put can you put the little thing on the actual cross? I mean, you've got all of us inside this morning. I think that's very, very good judging by all 10 of us. If I'm honest, that's me done.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, looking at this, obviously, there's the biggest. I mean, you could argue, or I could argue, that Matthews is slightly out the way, which brings this up here. So really, I'm going to take a vote on whether Matthews should be removed just because it's slightly out of the main cluster above. I mean, he's still within the magnifier, so that may be one thing against me asking for this, but it does make it a tighter cluster. And although it does move up a little fraction, it moves up quite a lot of pixels compared to, over the picture that we're looking at, it's actually quite a number of pixels. So I think from a fair judgment, from a panel decision as well, I'd like to see whether we can judge on Matthews being removed, or whether we keep him in or out. So it should be a sort of in or out, I suppose. I would be in favour of removal just simply because I think it looks a little bit better. But it is very minor. It's obviously we're all in agreement about what's happening in the photo. So Nigel, would you judge with Matthew in or out?
Personally, Matt, I would judge with him in, simply because I think Matt swayed me with his view on the player's left eye.
Sure.
I thought his cross is in a credible place for that left eye angle there.
Oh yes, no, so I'm not for 1 minute saying it's not credible. I'm just sort of saying because of the spread and
Sure.
we've got to panel judge this, I think. But it's taken an absolute fair point of what Matthew said about this left eye. So thank you for pointing that out as well.
I'll put that in,
yeah. Nigel, sorry, Hugh.
Can you just go over it with Matt's in?
So that's with Matt's in.
Yeah. See, because it's credible, I see what he says about that, and for me, it's still touching that ball as circle. I think for me, it stays in.
Yeah, great, thank you. Leo,
I'd keep Matt in.
Yep, thank you. Cleo,
I'd keep Matt in as well.
Yeah, great, thank you. Harry,
in, please.
Yeah, Liam,
I'll stick to my guns for him to remain, please, Matt.
Yep, no, great. Ella,
Yeah, I'd keep Matthew in. Yeah.
yeah, Matthew,
I'll back myself. Keep me in, please.
Glad. Peter,
Yes, in.
that's great. That's good. So that's a good debate because as said, it does over the calculated average here. It does encompass all of us, and as we know that it's a very small movement to get it down. So okay, Alex, after a good debate and with a panel that's sort of agreed with what the happening in the photo, which I think has brought a really good cluster of 10 choices. We've agreed to go with the average with all 10 of our choices remaining.
Okay, thank you very much. On that basis, please click submit.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for that, judges. The coordinates selected are 22971073. These coordinates will now be passed to the auditing company as it's to calculate the winner of the competition, and they will then inform BOTB. That concludes the judging process. Thank you very much.